As I enter my final semester of school at the University of Toronto, I've really been thinking about the types of content that I want to put out on this channel. I've done a lot of university and UofT content over the past few years, simply because that's most relevant in my life. And it helps that's being received so well by you guys. From answering questions online to having you guys come up to me on campus, I'm realizing that there's just so many of you guys who are curious, interested, and anxious about UofT and university in general. So I thought one of the best things that I could do before I graduate, while my entire undergrad is still fresh in my mind, is share with you all my best tips and tricks that have defined my university experience. Everything from the shift in mindset to selecting courses to must-have resources. Let's really dig into it. Have a yes attitude. Now, the first and most important piece of advice that I can give is to adopt a simple mindset shift. I've done a lot of campus interviews, and whenever I ask sophomores and seniors to give advice, the number one recurring tip is to simply have fun and enjoy the moment. Now, the best way to do that is forcing yourself out of your comfort zones and agreeing to new experiences. I can trace back so many of my favorite memories and closest friendships to just saying yes at some random hangout a few years ago. Things like signing up for first year orientation, a networking event that you're too scared to go to, a house party where you don't know anyone, or even one of those 2 a.m. McDonald's runs. Little experiences like those are usually the ones that you look back on years later. People say it all the time, college is exactly what you make out of it. And it gets a lot easier if you just accept the new experiences that gets thrown at you. Now with that out of the way, let's move on to a more academic note. Teachers. Teachers make up 50%, if not more, of the academic experience. The professor completely dictates the difficulty of their course, how effectively you'll be able to learn, and if you'll even want to come to class. Essentially, they can make or break the course. That's why it's so important that you're doing some research ahead of time, making sure you're choosing classes with good profs whenever possible. I've had easy elective courses with bad profs, disorganized profs, making those courses the hardest ones I've had all semester. And on the flip side, I've had hard technical courses with profs that were so energetic, so organized, and actually made me look forward to class every single week. Now on this note, there should be 2 resources that you're referencing. Rate My Prof, which is the holy grail for students. If you don't know what it is, Rate My Prof is a site that lets you search up profs by university and by classes. And essentially you can see what other students have to say about the profs, having taken certain classes of theirs in the past. The second resource is just friends and acquaintances. Word of mouth is probably some of the most credible sources that you can come across. So just finding out from other people who have taken a certain course, what that was like and what their experiences were, goes a long way. And so here are my final tips about this. Number 1, if you're at a crossroad between a good prof and a bad time slot, like a 9 a.m. or like an 8 p.m., compared to a really good time slot and a bad prof, 9 out of 10 times, I would say choose the one with that good prof. It actually makes that much of a difference. Secondly, if there are multiple profs teaching one course, which one's going to give you a better experience during the semester? And thirdly, with all elective courses, ones that you expect to be easy, only expect it to be easy if there is a good prof associated with it. I can't tell you guys how much this specific problem has gotten to me, but I'll talk a bit more about elective courses in a bit. Breadth courses. For those of you who don't know, UofT has a breadth course system that essentially requires students to take courses across a wide range of subject areas. There are 5 breadth categories that I'll put up on the screen right here, and every class within the art sci faculty is essentially assigned to one of these breadths. In short, the requirement states that you must take at least 2 courses in 4 out of 5 of these breadth categories, with a few minor exceptions. So that means if you're in CS like me, you'll end up having to take at least a few humanities and essay writing courses during your undergrad. And on the flip side, if you're in social sciences, humanities, you're probably still gonna have to take a few astronomy, physics related courses, and that's just how it is. My biggest tip here, complete your breadth requirements early. Generally in first and second year, we're still figuring out what classes we like. So it really doesn't matter to slide a few of these breadth random classes in during your timetable. Now, if you still have breadth requirements come your senior year, your third or fourth years, it really sucks having to force all these random courses in because you already have a pretty limited and restricted timetable by this time. It would suck if there are courses in your department that you really want to take that last year, but because of your breadth requirement, you need to take something completely unrelated instead. So trust me, get these requirements done early. That's what I did. And it's made my last few years a lot more chill and a lot more flexible for doing things that I actually like. As an added bonus, maybe if you take one of those breadth courses early on, it might spark an interest to take a minor that you didn't expect to take or change your major completely. Now, on the final topic of courses, let's talk about some easy ones. By definition, a bird course is a course which is seen as pretty easy. People find bird courses to boost their GPA and to lessen their workload throughout the semester. And look, I'm all for bird courses. I'm already overworked with all of my degree requirements, so when I do have those elective slots, I just want something easy. And like everyone else, to find bird courses, I'll just scroll through dozens of Google searches, Reddit threads, and anything else I can get my hands on, just to find these easy bird courses that previous UofT students have taken. But realistically, there are so many issues to this. Number one, a lot of these recommendations are outdated. There are so many Reddit threads from 7-8 years ago, and since then, these courses have definitely restructured a lot over time. And number two, most importantly, everyone's definition of easy is different. Some people think writing 3,000-word essays are easy. Some people think repetitive math is easy. Some people think memorizing is easy. You know, it's all about who you are. So while these online forums are great, just take everything with a grain of salt. With that said, here's my opinion. Here are all the bird courses that I've taken throughout my degree. First category of courses I want to share with you guys, the good bird courses that I've taken. These are ones that are minimum work, easy concepts, decent profs.
Eco 105, Economics for Non-Specialists, HPS 100, History of Philosophy of Science, NFS 284, Human Nutrition, PHL 245, Modern Symbolic Logic, PHL 100, The Magic of Physics, ENT 200, Innovation and Entrepreneurship, AST 251, Life on Other Worlds, Physics 207, Physics of Music. This was my favorite.
And just so you get a good idea of where I'm coming from, I'm someone with more of a STEM background. So I like classes with a bit more calculations, not so much memorizing. But for all of the courses in this bucket, I think they're pretty good options regardless of who you are. Now on the flip side, here's a small list of classes that I thought were going to be bird. I took it was boring, and there was a decent amount of work associated with it.
GGR 124, Cities and Urban Life, ENG 235, The Graphic Novel, Sociology 100, Intro to Sociology, and Lin 200, Intro to Linguistics.
Once again, not trying to trash on these courses, they really just weren't for me and weren't exactly what people advertised on Reddit and online. So that's all the information I could give you guys on bird courses. Take it how you like, and hopefully it can help you out a little bit. Don't overestimate yourself. Now, it's great to aim high and set motivational and productive goals for yourself, but at the end of the day, make sure you're being realistic. In my first year, I thought I would start university right. I'd have a healthy sleep schedule, sleep early, wake early, but life had other plans. Assignments piled up, social hangouts started happening later and later. It was tough because I chose my classes all around 9 a.m., 10 a.m. to really fuel this motivational goal. And by the end of the semester, when I was going to bed at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. consistently every night, I pretty much had to consistently skip all of these morning classes. Hi, Mom. I regret so much not choosing later classes and just giving myself that flexibility to sleep in. So I'm not saying this exact scenario is going to happen to you, but hopefully this can be an example for you and how in every aspect of your life planning, give yourself some leeway. More than anything, I think it's important to have a healthy mental while you're getting through your undergraduate degree. And on that note, breaks. Breaks are so important. Now, before you skip, I don't mean breaks from studying. I know everyone says that, and while that's still important, I think that's something that you just have to figure out for yourself, however that works for you. On this note, I mean more breaks for your day-to-day life. I think it's simply unreasonable and unhealthy for you to expect yourself to wake up, eat, go to lectures, study, eat, sleep, and repeat every single day from Monday to Friday. I feel like a robotic schedule is what leads to burnout really fast and will ultimately negatively affect your mental health. My biggest tip is to find outlets that can help you take your mind off of school temporarily and just enjoy other things. Hobbies are so important. And if you're someone with no hobbies, that's totally fine. I feel like this is the best time to try something new. Maybe something new every week until you find that perfect hobby for you. Personally, as someone who's really into sports, athletics have been my biggest outlet for the past few years. There's weekly intramurals, like volleyball, basketball drop-in, morning workouts, all of these things that give me something to look forward to throughout the week when I'm doing homework. Go explore restaurants, go host board game night, start a YouTube channel. Lastly, some key resources and tools. Firstly, I actually talked about something really similar in a video years back, but to this day, my entire life revolves around my Google Calendar and my Google Tasks. I recommend every student have some calendar app just to keep track of classes, deadlines, social hangouts, appointments, etc., and another daily to-do checklist just for something to reference every single day and to give yourself that dopamine of checking off those productive tasks. A few tips: you can actually import your UofT schedule straight from Acorn into your calendar app. If you just go onto the page where it displays your schedule, there should be some sort of export button there. And secondly, if you split your events into different calendars, each with a different purpose, you can really nicely color code everything. Some other resources: there are always online syllabuses that are found online. This is a really helpful tool to keep in mind when you want to check if a course is for you. Just go look at the syllabus. And lastly, the college registrar. Every student has a dedicated college registrar that's there for you to help you with anything. Throughout my undergrad, they've helped me with navigating student loans, finding bursaries and scholarships, getting into classes I really needed, and even figuring out if I could go on exchange. Bottom line is they're there to help, so really don't be worried about bugging them. Just go schedule appointments or email them with any questions that you have. And yeah. The camera and my battery died like literally right as I was finishing up. If you made it all the way here, look how janky my camera setup is. I literally had my tripod right here. Had some notes over here. It's tough out here. And that pretty much wraps it up. I've talked about a lot in this video, and hopefully you guys can take a bit of that and just implement it into your own lives. I'm really gonna try to make the most out of this last semester, try to put out a few more pieces of content while I'm still fresh in school. So hopefully I'll find the motivation for that. But I'll see you guys soon. Ciao. Test. The first and most important advice